The Memphis Grizzlies have acquired Marcus Smart in the three-way trade with the Celtics, Wizards, and Grizzlies. So this is just an updated version of the trade that happened earlier a few hours ago. So there have been some tweaks to it. Now the Celtics are receiving Porzingis, and they're also receiving the 23 pick this year from the Grizzlies and their 2024 first-round pick next year. The Wizards will receive also Tyus Jones, in addition to Malcolm Brogdon, I believe. Grant, I think I could have gotten that mixed up. I think Brogdon went to the Clippers, but all right. So, and the Grizzlies received Marcus Smart. So this is interesting because you're just shocked to see Marcus Smart go like that, but at the same time, I could see why the Celtics would have gotten rid of him. I don't think he performed well in this year's playoffs. Let me just pull up his stats. Let's go and pull them up right now. So during the regular season this year he averaged 11.5 points per game. He shot 41% overall from the field, which is awful. He shot 33% from three, which is bad. But it's always the defense when it comes to Marcus Smart that you value. His passing this year was I would say better than previous years, 6.3 assists per game. But let's look at the playoff averages. Playoffs, he actually did better. 14.9 points per game, 45% shooting overall from the field, which is good, 36 from three, which is good. So he showed up during the playoffs. That's just very odd that they wanted to get rid of him. I don't know their reasoning for this. I guess maybe they've moved on from him, but I think it's a huge defensive loss for them. Marcus Smart last year was the defensive player of the year. He's always been a great defensive player, but I guess they feel they can survive without him. It's just interesting, and maybe the Celtics have somebody that they're interested in this year's draft that they feel can make up whatever loss they suffered by getting rid of Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is still young. He just turned 29 a few months ago, so he's in the prime of his career. It's interesting that the Celtics just gave up on him that easily, but maybe they went out on this trade. That's just, I'm just trying to make this out. I actually like Marcus Smart, what he brings to the table defensively. I thought he's always been a good defensive player. He can be rough around the edges, but overall, he's definitely a guy you would want on your team. The Wizards got Tyus Jones. Trading Tyus Jones by the Grizzlies is interesting because with Ja's suspension, they don't have a point guard right now. Tyus Jones is actually arguably the best backup point guard in the league, so losing someone like that really hurts. He averaged 5 assists off the bench along with 10 points, 37% overall from three. So he's a pretty good role player, and his 5 assists and just less than like one turnover a game. So he has great assist to turnover ratio. I think the Grizzlies are really going to miss him. He's been a valuable contributor the last few years, especially when Ja's been injured. He's always stepped up for them. So I don't know what they plan to do, how they're going to replace him right now, because they really need a point guard with Ja being suspended for that many games. Marcus Smart, I think it's obvious they wanted to replace Dillon Brooks with a player that's similar to him, but doesn't bring the unnecessary drama to the team, such as his trash talk, his ability to get opponents to be inspired when they play the Grizzlies due to his trash talking. So I think Marcus Smart allows them to retain some of that edge that they lose by giving up on Dillon Brooks. But he also is, I would say, less, trying to think of a term, less chaotic, I would say. Just he's more under control than Dillon Brooks. Not by much, but him at his worst is not as bad as Dillon Brooks at his worst. So I'll give him that. Just this is another interesting move. We'll see if the Grizzlies are better for this. I think that really depends on if they can get a legit backup point guard in free agency. I don't know who's available. It's interesting to see how the Celtics will get better off of this, because I thought at first they got Porzingis really for nothing, but now they've lost, I believe, both Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart. So it's just, this is just going to be interesting. And that's all I have to say about that.